You know the book that you're seeing on the side, Bush at War? That book was written about 2 years after US decided to go to Iraq for the second time. And George Bush Jr. was the president. Bob Woodward, who is one of the renowned journalists in US, he wrote the book, and the book depicts about all the situation room in White House and what they went through and what was the situation. One of the remarkable chapter in this book talks about a day before George Bush and his administration made a decision to go to Iraq for war. And that day in the evening, George Bush was seen walking alone for about 1 hour in a White House lawn. Can you imagine what he might be thinking? The most powerful president of the world, with the most sophisticated army, air force, navy, and all, going through a fear of unknowns, fear of what's going to happen. Well, that's for the most powerful people in the world. What about ordinary people like you and me? If we start thinking about some small things and that starts bothering us, and it takes to a point that it might just make you freeze sometimes, what would you do? This thing started happening to me about a year ago. I started losing sleep. And in the beginning, I thought, well, I must be getting old. But then later on, I started thinking about my job. And once in a while, the same thing that I was doing at job, I will come home and I'll just think about the worst possible thing that could happen. What if the machine breaks down, it doesn't come up, and I don't know how to fix it? And I started contemplating, and I started worrying about it, and I spent sleepless nights. And it come to a point that it just went so bad that I had to go and look for medical help with my doctor, and I'm still going through some counseling and everything. Now, why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this to give you two messages that I have trying to tell you through other videos too. Hiding your problem is not going to take it away, or it's not going to solve it. So you have to open up. I know it's very, very hard when you say it's a mental issue, because from outside doesn't seem, it can only be felt. You have to feel good. And when you don't feel good, you have to go through a support mechanism to start feeling good. I'm extremely thankful for my employer, my colleagues, my family members, my friends and loved ones for supporting me. And I think you are very, very lucky that you are coming to this country that has extremely good support. But until you ask for help, people would not know that you are going through a problem. So if you have a problem, try to find a support group and try to find the person that went through the same problem that you are going through, so you will get a right amount of support. Isn't that the same thing when we go to school and we go through the professors on our subject that we are trying to pursue and say, teach me what you have learned for the last 15, 20 years so I could learn from you. It's the same thing. But majority of the people have a tendency to hide it because they think, well, what would other people think about me? What if they make a judgment about me? Don't worry about anything about that, because at the end of the day, if you don't feel good, you can't do good. And that, my friends, is a very, very important chapter and important topic in your life, because no matter what you do and no matter what profession you are in, you always have to feel good about yourself.